Welcome to the Growth Bridge. I am Ivo-Castillo here in Miami. This podcast is for entrepreneurs and leaders with strong ties in Latin America who want to understand how Anglo founders think about growth, leadership, and decision making, and how do they apply their mindset into your own businesses. So today, I'm excited to have Shane Baker, the founder of TraceFuse. Hello, Shane. How are
Hey, what's going on, man? I'm doing awesome. How are you doing?
you? Good. I'm great.
Good.
Let's start to our first question. Okay, we want to share if you can share about a little bit about yourself, your background, and how is and what is trade use.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first and foremost, man, thanks for having me. I really appreciate it. So, yeah, my name is Shane Barker. I'm actually the owner of TraceFuse. We started about 5.5 years ago, and really, what we do is simplistic in nature, but it is a little bit of a challenge. Can be with Amazon. What we do is we help Amazon sellers remove critical reviews, and when I say critical reviews, that means a 1, 2, or a 3 star. Those are known as critical reviews. Positive reviews are 4s and 5 stars. So what we do is we help sellers go and take a look at those reviews. We download those reviews and we look for reviews that clearly violate Amazon's own rules or their own guidelines. So mentioning competitors, mentioning pricing, hate speech, anything FBA related. So FBA means that if somebody has a carton full of, or a container full of products, they send it to Amazon. Amazon ships out something that's late, broken, or used. That's obviously a problem with the shipping and not a problem with the product. So a lot of people will say, hey, it was 2 weeks late, terrible product. Like, okay, well, what was the product all about, right? I understand it was late. You were maybe not happy about that, but did you like the product? So we look at product reviews, and that's what we specialize in. It's, we have sellers that don't like certain types of reviews, and those aren't the ones that we go after. We go after the ones that really clearly somebody broke Amazon's own rules.
Okay, so that is hard. How do you? I guess how do you know what is with the rules and what isn't?
Yeah. So Amazon, if you Googled Amazon's guidelines, Amazon has very specific rules that that sellers when buyers have to write reviews, they have to abide by them. Well, what happens is a lot of people that are writing reviews don't know about the guidelines and they probably have never seen them. So I write a review and I say, hey, I liked the product or I didn't like the product. But if I say, hey, I like the product, but hey, I paid $30 for it on Prime Day and now it's $45, I think that's way too expensive. That could be a legit review, but the thing is you can't mention an exact price. That's against Amazon's guidelines, and a lot of people don't know that. So what we do is we look at this and say, hey, we know what the guidelines are. So our AI is constantly monitoring the guideline, and then what we do is we grab the reviews. We say, okay, with these being the rules, let's take a look at these reviews. Which ones are in violation of Amazon's own rules? So if somebody used a cuss word, our AI detects it and says, hey, they used the F word. Not supposed to have that on the platform. Guess what? We need to file a case with Amazon for that. So that's kind of the premise of what we do.
Yeah. And then, of course, reviews is one of the most important things in the ranking
Yeah, the
algorithm in
algorithm.
Amazon.
Yes, it is the most important. I mean, at the end of the day, us as consumers, whether we realize it or not, next time you go to Amazon, think about where your eyes go. The first thing you do is you look at the reviews. That's just hands down. You get on Amazon, you look up there to say, okay, it's a 4.2. I'll give it a chance. Hey, it's a 3.2. Probably not going to give it a chance. So the reviews are very, very important on Amazon because it not only will, help you with the algorithm to be able to sell more products, helps you with social proof, people saying, hey, they liked the product or didn't. It also helps with your PPC cost because if you have a product that doesn't rank really well because of your reviews are low, then your PPC cost is also going to be higher, right? So you can have the best product in the world. If you have bad reviews, you're done. If you have the worst product in the world, but you got great reviews, you could still be in business and making things happen. So that's how important reviews are. And I think, a lot of sellers understand that. But a lot of people are also using those reviews for bad, right? I mean, they're going in and attacking other brands and stuff like that.
Yes,
And that is one thing that our software detects is if we feel like there's some kind of fraudulent activity as well.
that's nice.
Yeah.
And this is very interesting because Amazon is growing. I don't know if this is growing. You tell me it is growing, but it's shifting a lot, don't you think? With the AI
Yeah.
algorithm and I the question is, what is the major shift are you see in the industry right now?
Yeah. I mean, obviously AI, right? There's just been with implementation of AI for whether it be, Amazon, whether it be Walmart, whether it be Google, whether it be ChatGPT, there's AI is obviously taken over in a major way. I think a lot of people are excited about it. Some people are nervous about it. But, anytime you have change in any industry, people get nervous, right? When you got to learn new things and figure out new things. AI, I think, is still at the infancy stages. There's still a lot of awesome stuff, but it's not replacing humans, right? I mean, I think it can help with efficiencies, and that's the way we use it. Obviously, our goal was, we had humans or people that would look at all the reviews, and that's very tiresome. You get, there's room for error. With AI, if you prompt it correctly, there shouldn't be really any error, and it continues to get better and better over time. Humans, I can't, I mean, I can give them knowledge, but that doesn't mean after 4 hours that they're not going to be tired and maybe make mistakes. AI made it so we don't really have a lot of those issues, right? Because if the guidelines change over here, there's no way that the humans know automatically unless they're notified. With the AI, when this changes, our AI changes. And so we built it out that way. So once again, it knows what to look at. And we also, because of the amount of data that we have when we're filing cases, it also helps us know which departments at Amazon are taking cases and are approving cases and aren't approving cases. So there's a lot of information that we get through AI and through filing cases and doing things that give us information that make us to be able to be more efficient and be able to have a higher success rate for our customers.
And this taking about this AI and the other question about the shifting industry, what do you think about, and this is related to our audience, is how do you think of how is the impact with the Chinese tariff? And did you see any opportunity for new players, aka Latin America, you jump in this space? Because that is one of my honestly, this is one of my most common questions because they just think that it's saturated by Chinese brands and Chinese low cost product. So
Mhm.
they scare about, jump and cross the river, for so to speak, to, to bet in the US market.
Yeah. I mean, I think once again, US market is a big market depending on what your category is. There's always opportunity, I believe, in all categories, right? When it comes even in the US. I mean, yeah, with the tariffs and stuff, obviously that, that does slow some businesses down. Some of them they don't mind. But at the end of the day, if you're having to spend more money on things, it does make you evaluate, especially if you're a cheaper item, does it make sense to continue to sell on this platform? I think there's huge opportunity. We've seen this over the years with like Vietnam and with other countries, but even with Latin America, there's still some amazing opportunities. If you have a great product, you can sell it on the US platform, right? And there is huge opportunity. There's a lot of eyeballs in the US platform. It's probably, I would say, Amazon's probably largest platform because they have obviously US, UK, Canada, EU, they have a lot of different platforms that are all, very different, similar but different. And I think there's an opportunity in all of those. I mean, I see a lot of people in the US that sell and are successful, but they're also going to Europe. They're also going to Latin America because there's some great opportunity down there as well. There's not quite as much competition, but it's also, if you've established in the US and you have a good branding and good things, some good things can happen in Latin America as well, or, in Europe or wherever. So yeah, I think if you're in Latin America and you want to try yourself on Amazon, like anything else, it's going to be a challenge. I mean, it's going to take some work, but if you have a good product, good distribution, good things that are happening there, you absolutely can make it on Amazon. Like it's a challenge in the sense that it's a challenge because I mean everything is it's not really easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it. That's what I always tell people. But if you can go in and you have the time and you have the resources and you have the patience to be able to learn the platform, no different than if you were to sell on eBay or Etsy or Walmart. Those are all have a little bit of a learning curve, right? There's ways that they do things that are going to be different. Amazon's no different, except Amazon has, billions of people that go to it on I don't know if it might be billions a month, but it's a lot. There's a lot of people that go there, a lot of eyeballs. So as long as you have good margins, and you have a good distribution system, you can get the products to people. I mean, absolutely, I would take a look at US platform for Amazon for sure.
Great. And that's make me another question is how do you target in your B2B marketing? How do you approach to your customers?
Yeah, so there's a number of different ways that we market to our customers. So one, we have a newsletter. So we have about 7,000 people in our newsletter. We also do SEO. So if you look at any kind of keyword, Amazon, how to remove negative reviews on Amazon, we're going to be in the top 3 there most of the time, number 1. So we also write a lot of blog content. We do about 15 to 20 articles a month. I do a lot of podcasts. I do about 3 to 5 podcasts a week. We also do Reddit ads. We do PPC ads. We do just about anything. My background's in digital marketing. So that's always been for me. I don't ever want to focus on just one avenue, but also partnerships. We have some amazing partnerships with some really big Amazon agencies, PPC agencies, affiliate agencies. We've built out this model where, I want to have 7, 8, 9, 10 different ways that people are coming into us,
The
right?
channel,
Because
like I use, like
yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Like, because if one goes down, I want to be able to have the other ones. Oh, we do email outreach as well. That's gone really, really well for us as well. So
Okay.
yeah, pretty much anything you can do online, we do it.
Yeah, that's great. And what do you see? How do you see the next 6, 12 months in this landscape of trade
For like,
fuse, or this next year? How you project it?
yeah. I mean, really, I think it's, we have over 700 brands we've worked with, and we've removed over 16,000 reviews. So the reason I'm telling you that is the 700 brands, there's 1.9 million active sellers in the US platform on Amazon.
Wow,
So our opportunity is just getting more people to know about what we do. When I started the company, we were the first ones to be able to file cases with Amazon and get reviews removed. And now we're absolutely the biggest company, but we're this big compared to the Amazon ecosystem. There's a lot of opportunity for us. So what we're going to do is just focus on getting more clients in, being able to help them keep their BSRs up and making good things happen for them.
that's great. Just for my audience, the audience understand what is the metrics that you most focus to improve in a business like this? What is their goals? What are we trying to accomplish, and how you measure the success in this? I guess I don't want to say just specific to your brand. I try to polarize to what this kind of technology, AI business.
Yeah. So for us, our big thing that we look at, our lever, or one of our KPIs, our key performance indicator, are obviously reviews that we get removed for our clients, right? So that's our biggest thing is, if we have 100 critical reviews, those are 1, 2s, and 3s, we're going to try to figure out how do we get our percentage of more reviews removed for our client. So that's our big thing is our clients only pay when a review gets removed. So that's the value of our service, is that if we don't remove reviews, you don't pay, right? So that's what a lot of people really enjoy. So really, there's very minimal risk. We do have an onboarding fee, which is pretty small, and it's a one-time fee. So nobody's really worried about that. It really comes down to, hey, how many reviews can we get removed? And right now we're at about 10%. So if you see 100 critical reviews, we can remove about 10% of those. Our goal is to get up to 11 to 12 to 15. We want to get higher than that, have more success for our clients. And that's, once again, just filing better cases and working with Amazon and really doing everything we can to get those reviews removed. AI obviously is a heavy component in recognizing whether it's in violation or not in violation, and then we manually file. So we still use humans to file the cases because we don't rely on AI to file or anything like that. We use humans to file everything. But the AI has been interesting just because we've been able to write more content. We're starting to implement it more into other parts, not just our software, but other parts of the business, so that we can scale faster without a heavy cost to be able to scale.
That's make me a different question right now. This is your offer proposition, and that make me think, and I think I found really interesting. And I think this is a new and a common way to give value to to their customers and to get more customers. I don't know about you, but I think we used to be in the few time ago where, okay, you pay a setup fee, you pay the setup, and then I provide you a service, and whether or not it's successful or not, you have to pay monthly. And now,
Yeah.
what I'm seeing in this trend now is that this is shifting. And I don't know, I want to know what you think about, but I'm seeing more and more is that, okay, I'm going to give you value. If you don't get value, you don't pay. And that makes it more competitive, don't you think?
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, for us, when we did this, so I'll tell you our whole journey there. What we were doing is we were the first ones to market to be able to file cases, get reviews removed. And so people in the Amazon, the sellers, didn't believe this was possible because they weren't able to do it themselves. So we start this business, people don't believe what we say, so that's a problem, right? Because we're the first to do this. And then we're also, in the beginning, we were asking for retainers, saying, hey, you don't believe in what we can do, but we'd also like to get a $20,000 retainer from you. And they're like, I already don't believe you. Now you want me to give you $20,000. And so we had to look at that and say, okay, that's probably not going to work in the beginning, right? Because people are going, well, I'm already nervous about this. I've never heard of this. And now you want to grab 20 grand or whatever the retainer was. So that's when we realized, hey, you know what? Let's go the opposite of that. Let's not do a retainer and say, hey, guess what? You only pay when reviews actually get removed. And they said, why would you do that? And I was like, because we can remove reviews.
Yeah.
Right? Because why would we do that if we couldn't remove reviews, right? So that was kind of our moment to break through, because if not, we're asking for retainers and people are like, nope, I have no idea who you guys are. I didn't know this was possible. And now when we flipped it on its head and said, only pay for reviews to get removed, people said, sign me up. Where do I sign up? We knew what we could do, but we had to prove that to our audience. And I can tell you, I would not have 700 clients if I had grabbed $20,000 from all of them, because they wouldn't have signed up,
Yeah.
right? They'd be like, this is too much of a risk. It's already a risk, I think, because I've never heard of it, but now you want all kinds of money from me. So when we changed that up, we couldn't, people were just signing up, signing up, signing up. And then people started hearing good things about us and people are talking about us in a good way. And then more people started signing up. And so we just got this major, major traction that we were very glad that I made that decision. We might not be in business if we were trying to do the retainer thing. We might not have been given the opportunity to prove what we can do.
And just the two final questions are, one is how you come up with that idea, and
Yeah.
that one first.
Okay. Yeah. So the way that we came up with the idea is I have a company, ShaneBarker.com, which is my own personal brand. And what we were doing is we were helping some clients that were like D2C, direct to consumer, right? And I also asked them, hey, do you guys sell on Amazon? They said, yeah, we do. And I said, what is your biggest pain point with Amazon? And most everybody said reviews, right? That's the hardest part. So I was like, hey, we can figure that out. Not a problem at all. I thought it was going to take a few weeks, maybe a few months max. It took us 2 years to crack the code. Like, it was not an easy process. Yeah. And I'm not talking about like just on the weekend working a little bit here and there. I'm talking about literally all week long trying to figure it out. And then we finally cracked the code after 2 years. Really, our business has been live for the last 3.5 years. And like I said, we've removed over, God, I mean, now we're looking at 16,000 reviews for our customers. So we're very, very proud of that number.
Yes. And just a final question. What is the mindset? What is your mindset? How you stay resilient after 2 years trying and trying and trying? Okay, because that is important. I think that for our audience, I think that this is very important to understand the mindset behind the people who start things and innovate. And please tell us a little bit about what did you think about this? What is the takeaway they should take from this?
Yeah. For me, my mindset has always been the same with any business I've ever started. My goal is always to help people. So what I look at was, how can I help people? And then once again, if I'm helping people, then it'll naturally monetize, right? I mean, there's obviously a cost to doing business. So my thing is this: I feel like if you follow your heart and you do good things for people, that good things will come back to you. Right. So that's always been my mindset is, if you help people, then once again, you're doing good things. If I help you, then guess what? That'll come back to me tenfold. And that's not the reason why I help people. I just know that if you put good out in the earth, if I help you and make you smile or do something good for you, you're going to do something good for somebody else. And that's really, really important for me. The money when I was younger was the number one thing. When I was young, right? Oh, I got to make money. I got to do this, got to do that. Now that I'm older, how can I make an impact? Right? The money is fine. The money will come. I'm not worried about that as much. What I'm worried about, when I was younger, I didn't have any money. So I was trying to, money was really important. I'm okay now. I'm doing good now. Right. And so now my thing has always been, how do I put my heart first and help customers? And that's always been our thing. Right. And even if outside of TraceFuse, even with my own consulting firm and things that I've done, if you do right by people and you do good things, then good things are going to come back to you. And so that's always been my mindset is, how can I make the world a better place? Right. And that's through service, and that's through things that we do. And so, even though some people might go, oh, removing negative reviews on Amazon isn't doing a service, but it is. Because
Yes.
this is how sellers feed their family. This is how, there's a lot of things that play into that. And so I take that very, very seriously. And the fact that we have 700 brands that we work with, I treat those all like it's like those businesses, like they're my mom's businesses. And what I mean by that is, I love my mom. I care about my mom, and I will treat your business the way I would treat my mom's business. I will take care of you like you're our family. So that's how I treat everybody. And I think if more people did these types of things to do good work, I think the world would be a better place. And that's my goal.
Well, Jane, thank you so much for this time. Thank you for sharing with us all your knowledge and your mindset and your insights with us. Mm, I wish you the best. And
Thank you so much, my friend. I really appreciate you having me on today. And to everybody in Latin America and everybody, come up, do whatever you need to do. Come out to the US, sell some stuff in the US. But once again, as I told you before, I went to school in Costa Rica. And once again, it's always nice. My Latin brothers and sisters out there, keep up the good work.
thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. See you next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.